Hi everybody, welcome to episode 4 of Your Best Work. My name is Matthew Klink, so that means I've introduced myself 2 out of 4 episodes. I remembered to do it. But what we're talking about in Your Best Work, and I'm glad I've got Sami laughing already, so this is going to be a good episode. We are talking about what the best work of our students, of our instructors, everybody that's connected with MMA, what is the best work that they've brought to the table? What have they worked up to? What are they teaching our students now? And today we're going to be talking to Sami, and I should have asked you this before we started. How do we say your last name? Maskill? Maskill. Sami Maskill today. She is managing everything top to bottom for our aspiring artist camps. So what we want to do is give you a little bit more detail about those aspiring artist camps so you know what's going on. But Sami's actually going to highlight that because of the work that she's most proud of. It touches those aspiring artist camps. So Sami Maskill. I'll invite her in a second here. She, and like I love to do, breaking the fourth wall, she can be found on Instagram at Mrs.Sami Maskill, correct?
That's correct.
Sounds right? Okay. Also, SamiGeorge.com is where all of her content can be found, so you can see her resume. I really love that your resume was on the website. That was fantastic. It made it a lot easier to figure out what's going on there. Some beautiful work that we're also going to highlight, even though Sami's best work is what she does with the children of the aspiring artist camps. I couldn't let her get away with that, so we're going to go over some of the best work I found on her website. So with that being said, Sami, would you like to come on in?
I would love to. Hello, Matt.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. As you can tell, we've already made some hops and skips into some mistakes here, so you know how raw we want this video to be. But why don't you tell us a little bit more, anything in my short introduction of yourself, anything you want everybody to know?
Absolutely. Well, my name is Sami Maskill, as Matt has already explained. I am a hair, makeup, and special effects artist. I primarily work in film. I went to Multimedia Makeup Academy, obviously, and like you already said, I am the camp manager.
And we're super excited to talk about that today. If you've been following along on our social media, we've done a lot of conversations about how we're jumping into our theme of the Aspiring Artist Camps. And we think it's very appropriate because the summer camps are coming up.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to miss out on an opportunity to get your kid in there.
Right. It's almost summer.
Well, let's jump into so everybody knows, like, where's the love, where's the motivation coming from? Your work with the kids camps. How did you start actually getting into makeup?
Wow, that's a great question. So I studied at Michigan State University right out of high school. I double majored in theater and communication.
That's why I wear the green today.
Yeah, obviously, with a specialization in fiction film production. I actually didn't know that I wanted to go into makeup until my senior year of college. So I took kind of on a whim that I took a theater for makeup class. And for years I had sort of been like, ooh, gosh, I don't know if I want to take it because it was like extra $60 to take it for the kit fee.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom was like, here's $60, just go take the class. You're going to have fun. And I ended up falling in love. So thanks, Mom. And it was actually so funny. So I lived in the area. I grew up here. When I graduated, I ran into Multimedia Makeup Academy. We used to be located next to Benihana, and I used to go to Benihana for every birthday. And there was a big sign outside for when I was going in for my birthday dinner that said, we're a makeup school. And I was like, this is fate. This is meant to be.
So 2 big support systems were your mother and Benihana.
Very much so. Yes, thank you for all the chicken fried rice.
Well, I love that story because we could bring it right into maybe how you feel that support system. Like, how important is it to have those parents that are behind you? If you have that inkling, if you have that little bit of, I do want to try this. I mean, how fantastic was it to have your mom right there beside you, supporting you all the way?
Incredible. It was huge. I mean, all my life, my parents have both been very supportive of anything that I wanted to do. And that helped me very much shape my entire future. I mean, without them, I don't know where I would be, but I probably wouldn't be as happy as I am today.
And I don't want it to feel like I'm putting too much pressure on any of the parents that are watching right now.
I do.
But, well, Sami does. I'm the good cop. She's the bad cop. But, the point being is we want to keep ensuring that we're trying everything, because a couple of the themes we've touched on in a few of the episodes is that we do have our instructors, our students are headed in one direction, but because they were given that opportunity to test out this other direction, they found their passion, they found what they love.
That's exactly true.
So I can't find anything that relates. I couldn't think of anything that would relate closer than having these kids camps and giving that opportunity to the kids that if they've shown any inkling, and I keep overusing that word, and it's going to bug me when I'm editing this later, but if they want to do makeup, we have that option.
Exactly. I mean, as a kid, I don't know about you, but I went in so many different camps and random classes and all sorts of things that my parents just nurtured, that had any interest in anything, and they were like, well, look, we have this that you could possibly do. I mean, it's not very expensive, it's very short, you're young, and you can figure it all out, but why not try it? Why not?
Right. So, I mean, I did a lot of the sports camps, and then the rest of my body filled out, and then we realized Matt's not doing pro sports, so that's how that turned out.
That's okay, Sammy wasn't either.
So let's bring it around to the theme of the show. We want to talk about your best work, but as we mentioned, your best work is what you're doing with the kids during the student camps over the summer, the aspiring artist camps. Let's brand it properly. Why, to you, is that your best work?
You know, it's hugely important to me. I mean, the kids are in everything to me. They're fun to be around, and it really is something special, as crazy and cliche as this sounds, to be around these kids who actually enjoy life and what they're doing, and it's fun to sort of mold their minds, as again cliche as that sounds, but it's on brand.
We got the sculpting molding class.
Exactly.
So
well, it's true though. I mean, really, I love watching these kids learn something new, that they're not used to something, and they're learning something, but they're excited about it. And it's fun to be able to tell someone something, for it to click in their brain, and for it to work for them. And it's sort of amazing.
Do you have any good stories from last year of any of the students that I don't want to put too much pressure.
That's
And
okay.
I'll ramble a little bit, and I'll pretend I'm like putting it all together. I'll just give you this opportunity to think of the answer. But yeah, any students that you ran into that, you know, maybe they weren't even sure that they should be doing this, but come to the end and they're like, no, or they turn into amazing work, or what have you. It looks like
Always.
You do have someone in mind,
I
but
honestly,
there's probably dozens of kids.
Exactly. It's almost every single student that comes in that they learn something completely new. It's actually sort of a cycle where they think that they know exactly how to do it. And I went through the same thing when I went through makeup.
Right.
In my head, I was like, oh, I totally know what this looks like. I know what it's supposed to do. But then when you try to make your brain, make your hands, make what's in your brain, as crazy as that sounds, it doesn't always compute, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But when you sort of go through the techniques and the processes, and you finally figure out exactly what it is that you need to be doing. And I've run into this with almost every single student, where they have an idea in their mind and they try to put it into their art, and it doesn't come out as they thought they would. But then I can show them exactly where they need to correct to make it how they want to see it in their brain, and they're happy by the end, at least somewhat. Sometimes they're very upset, and that's okay too. But it's all part of the learning process. And I have so many students in mind now, actually, that would come to me and say, you know, Miss Sammy, like this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This isn't working for me.
Yeah.
What can I do to fix this? What should I do now? And it's sort of exciting and liberating and fun to be able to, in the kid's brain even, to say, this is what's going to happen, and this is how we need to make it better.
Yeah. And it must be great too to have that environment. Like, it would be different. Like, I've got a kid coming, so I've been told the stories. Like, it's one thing to hear, like, you got to start working on this from one area, but we're actually giving them this opportunity to work with an expert. Mm-hmm. They're fully in it, so they're not asking mom and dad how to do this, but we're giving them this opportunity in a fantastic environment to learn with other students that want to learn the same things, or at least be close to the same level kind of deal. And then, of course, having you there.
Absolutely.
making sure that whatever elements that, whatever stage they're at, that they're maybe we don't want to say they're absolutely catching up, but there's that authority figure that they can reach out to and have as that helping guiding hand. And
exactly.
That's something.
That's what's great about it. I mean, they get to literally play like a pro. They get to go
Love
into
There's the
this
branding.
environment.
Sorry.
That's totally fine. They get to go into this environment that has all of these trained professionals.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they get to literally play. I mean, it's an art. It's fun for them, but they get to use their creative brain and do something technical, and all in the while learn how to do it right and professionally. And even if they wanted to, they can make a career out of this. And we teach that as well. I think it's great.
Perfect. Well, if anybody was interested, because I'm going to make my transition here, we are at mma-makeupacademy.com, and it's going to be at the bottom of the screen now. But make sure you head over to our Aspiring Artist Camps page. We have, thanks to Sami. I mean, this is, if you needed proof in the pudding, Sami got on board, and now we have a completely redone web page. Now we're making things easier with, we have our extended program. Actually, do you want to take a second to talk about the
Sure, I'd love to. So our extended program is something that we've created for new this year. Originally our camps go from 9 to 1, they still do, but now our extended programs are going from 1 to 4, so if you need to go to work while your kids still stay at camp, or if your kids just want to learn more, and they often do, then we provide that opportunity as well to stay after the camp for whatever days you need it. We have that available.
Yeah, and that's live on the website now, and I guess the point I'll come back to was just, this doesn't happen if Sami doesn't care as much as she does. That doesn't go up on the website. Those options aren't put in front of you for you to take advantage of. And, it's mutually beneficial, but just to come back to everything that Sami's been doing for these camps, we've been working together for less than a month now, and
right.
I would say everything's completely flipped over, and it's different for the better.
Absolutely.
So, all that being said, you still have to play the game, your best
Ooh.
work, so I went to, was it SamiGeorge.com?
That's the one.
SamiGeorge.com. And I picked out what I thought was the best work. Be a little prepared here. This is, it's a little shocking, but that's why I picked it, because I thought this will be the one thing that's going to stick in your mind. So maybe if the kids are around learning more about the Aspiring Artist Camps, fast forward a little bit, see if it's okay for them, and then come back.
Some of them love the trauma camp, let me tell you.
That's true, yeah. And if your kid gets excited by, I know when I was a little guy, I'd always come over and see my brother when he fell off, the roof or something. I'd want to come see all of his broken bones.
Same.
So if you want to create that, this is some of the work that Sami's done. It's on the screen now.
Sami will teach you.
Yeah, exactly. Sami, this is beautiful work. I mean, there are so many movies that came to mind that it was. Now I can't think of it now that we're in the middle of recording this, but they're on top of a pyramid and they've got vines growing in their body, and it's really just, I mean, this is exactly what I was saying. I don't know if that movie, if that sounds
jumping
familiar.
out to me right away, but I'm sure I've seen it. I just can't think of what it is.
5 minutes after we're done here.
He's gonna know the answer.
So this is the second time that I've done this. So you guys know the drill. Just comment what film I'm thinking of, and then we'll figure it out from there. But I mean, I'm just gonna keep looking at this thing down here. You guys can see it on the screen. What's going on here? What are some of the techniques and what I've helped define as your best work?
Oh, thank you. I love this piece, honestly. I'm still attached
Good.
to it.
That's fantastic.
It's delicious as far as I'm concerned.
Not the first word I would have gone with.
It's always the first word I go with
Perfect.
when it's anything gore. So it's extra funny, actually, because the blood is made out of corn syrup. So it is quite literally delicious.
Okay, perfect. Now that's clicking. All right.
So it's a torn up arm. You can see the muscles and the tendons, blood, obviously.
Yeah, you can see it all.
You can definitely see it all. This is something we teach, actually, at MMA as well as in some of the kids' camps. This is a latex application that you go through building up muscle and then the tendons, laying them where they need to be, sticking them on, building up latex as skin around it, painting it so it's seamless, coloring it so it's perfect, and then adding a whole lot of blood. My favorite part.
So this, I guess with these works in particular, we could talk about it generally, but do you remember anything you ran into while putting this together? I mean, honestly, it's a masterpiece.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, do you remember anything? Like, how did it just go swimmingly, or can you think of?
It went pretty well.
All right.
Actually.
Yeah, you're perfect then.
It was. I know. That's what I hear a lot.
But what could be like some of the things you could run into with this, or is it just? I mean, is it one of those things where we just need to make sure you're talking about the different layers?
Yes.
We just need to be patient, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
with almost any piece of art.
Huge component to all of this is patience. And I have 0, so I don't know how I'm good at this. But
we lucked out just for this video to get this amazing work.
Exactly. There is a large process to it, especially so latex can be tricky, especially a lot of people have latex allergies, so that's one thing to watch out for. There are alternatives, of course, that we could do this with other products as well. And come up with pretty much the same result, but it's a process that you have to go through creating each layer. So there were several pieces that I had to create of muscle, stacking them on, layering them appropriately, then laying down and creating and then laying down the tendons and the other pieces, and then waiting for all that to dry, then creating the latex on top of that with tissue and cotton, and waiting for each layer of that to dry. So patience is a huge component in all of this. It
definitely sounds like it.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's something too that's also been following along different themes that we've had through these episodes of, you definitely have to make that decision. You got to go ahead and start doing the work yourself, but there's patience that goes into like every art form.
Absolutely.
And I think it could never be said too much where if you're getting frustrated, and like we're going to be doing the Aspiring Artist Camp, so I think it'll be easy to see some frustration in some of the younger kids, but starting to push that idea of like you can get to this beautiful finished product.
Thank you. Yes.
Just with the practice, with the education, but also you want to get that done, so what does it take to get done?
Exactly. And I think you brought up a great point too, though, that maybe I didn't make any mistakes on this one, but mistakes happen to me regularly. There are constantly things that I run into a small problem and I have to know how to fix it. And I think there's nothing more beneficial in the learning process than making a mistake. That once you make that mistake, it's time to figure out, well, how do I fix it? And it's best to do that in a learning environment where someone can tell you, well, this is how you fix it. Rather than being out in the field and making a mistake and thinking, oh no, what do I do now?
So let's have the kids make the mistake when they're between 9 and 16, which is our ages for the Aspiring Artist Camps.
And the ages where you make the most mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Well, I do like to ask this question. Was there anything, or what do you see on the horizon for Sami? Is there anything you want to work on next, or is there something that you need to practice?
There are a lot of things I need to practice. Practice never ends. And I firmly believe that. But there are, up next is all the summer camps. They're really right around the corner. Yep. But there are plenty of other films and major things. Film is sort of my passion. A lot of that is kind of what I hope to aspire and dream to do. But yeah, Marvel films would be great.
I was going to say, we've talked twice, and we talked at length about, it was the day after Avengers Endgame, and now we're hanging out the day after Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
So
you can tell that I watch a lot of television.
Exactly. That's what it just organically turns into those conversations.
Exactly.
If I could, I want to give you a second to plug your work, but if I could take a second, there's our conversations about film, but if I could say, if there's anybody in this building that is as passionate about these Aspiring Artist Camps as Sami is, it's going to be tough to find them. It is, I can't stress enough, it has been a complete turnover of how much work is going into these camps, and it's because Sami wants to see it happen.
Thank you, Matt.
So with that, that's my plug for Sami, but is there anything you want to make sure anybody comes back to, and then we'll just kind of run a banner at the bottom? I know we mentioned your website and your Instagram, but is there anywhere else that if anybody's looking to hire Sami, where should they go?
You can find me on IMDb, you can find me at my website.
Perfect.
You can find me on Instagram. All the above are great. And definitely check out the Multimedia's Aspiring Artist Camp page. That's important too.
I like that, because sometimes we only have that banner, so I'm glad that Sami's here to remember to do that. So this has been episode 4 of Your Best Work. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Remember, MMA-makeupacademy.com, especially for the Aspiring Artist Camps. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us on social media. We are at MMA-Makeup Academy. And of course, Sami, if you want to reach out to her, I'm just going to read it again here. It's at mrs.Sami Maskill, and you can find it at the bottom of the screen. Thank you, everybody, for coming and watching episode 4 here. Sami, I can't thank you enough. This was fantastic.
Thank you.
The conversations that we have are so much fun, so I was glad that we got an opportunity to sit here and talk those aspiring artist camps.
Perfect. I love it.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Bye.